Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, this week families across our country are preparing to celebrate Mother's Day and recognize the hard work that women do to support their families and build a brighter future in their communities. Here in Congress, we should be working to help moms back in Washington State and across the country. Unfortunately, instead of looking for ways to support women, President Trump has been pushing an ideological agenda that undermines their health, reproductive rights and freedoms, and economic security. Now, when it comes to health care, President Trump is working to sabotage the care moms and their families rely on. He changed federal rules to let insurance companies sell junk coverage that does not cover maternity care. And he's arguing in court to strike down protections for women and people with pre-existing conditions in all plans insurers sell. And instead of supporting the Title X family planning program, which has a history of bipartisan support and a tremendous track record helping women get critical, low-cost family planning and preventive health care services, President Trump is chipping away at it and working to strip Title X grants from Planned Parenthood, which serves tens of thousands of women in my home state of Washington each year and millions more nationwide, including mothers like Shannon. Shannon first went to Planned Parenthood when she was 18 for what turned out to be endometriosis. It's a condition that causes severe menstrual pain and can affect fertility. But thanks to the treatment she received at Planned Parenthood, today Shannon is managing her chronic pain and raising an adorable little girl. When I was in Seattle a few weeks ago, another constituent, Cindy, shared how a routine screening at Planned Parenthood saved her life by detecting cancer early on and giving her the head start she needed to beat it. Today, Cindy's not just a survivor, she's a mother, because she was able to get pregnant after she went into remission. We should be supporting providers that help women like them get the care they need, not burdening them with restrictions designed to force out Planned Parenthood or gag clauses that prevent providers from even discussing a patient's right to a safe legal abortion. Moms deserve better. Unfortunately, President Trump's attacks on women's reproductive rights go well beyond his changes to the Title X program. Since day one, he has been working to jam our courts full of far-right judges to appease extreme Republicans who want to see Roe v. Wade struck down. When President Trump nominated Justice Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, we heard from women and men across the country concerned about what his confirmation would mean. Countless women shared their personal stories about what life was like before Roe v. Wade and what the right to get a safe legal abortion has meant to their families. So while Republicans continue to press ahead with extreme harmful legislation like the bill that was just passed in Georgia, and President Trump continues to tell outright lies meant to demonize women and their health care providers, people are going to continue calling out those lies, calling out the attempts to turn back the clock, and standing in solidarity with women across the country. President Trump's harmful attacks on women's health care are hardly the only time he's ignored how his policies would hurt women and their families. He has also cruelly and unnecessarily separated hundreds of migrant parents and their children, like Yolani. She's a mother who was detained in Tacoma, Washington, while her 6-year-old son was sent all the way across the country to New York. According to media reports, they were kept apart for almost 2 months before they were reunited. And their story is just one of so many pointless tragedies President Trump's heartless family separation policy caused. Moms deserve better, especially when there are so many other challenges they need us to lead on. There's the maternal mortality crisis and the appalling fact that our country has the highest maternal death rate in the developed world. We know this crisis is worse for women of color, African American women in particular, who face an even higher maternal death rate. And because of a new report from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, we also know 3 out of 5 Pregnancy-related deaths in our country are preventable. We should be working together to take action to stop so many mothers from dying in childbirth and building on the $50 million maternal mortality initiative that I fought to enact in this year's funding bill to expand evidence-based programs to prevent maternal mortality and advance maternal health equity. There is also the child care crisis and the reality that for far too many parents, quality, affordable child care is not available. One mother in Washington State told me how she struck out with more than 10 child care centers before finally finding one that could care for her son, and when she did find it, it cost more than her mortgage. We should be working to make sure all parents can go to work knowing their children will be well cared for. And we should be fighting for paid family leave so people have the time they need to welcome new members to their family and start building those bonds that last a lifetime. And so no parent has to choose between their paycheck and caring for a sick child. At a time when there's so much we could be doing to make life better for mothers and fathers and families across the country, it is so disappointing that President Trump has spent so much time looking for ways to make things worse. But while the Trump administration may not be fighting for families, moms are. Just last week, I attended a rally here in Washington, D.C. and met a mom who came all the way across the country from Washington State to speak up for families like hers. I know what it's like to be in her shoes, or tennis shoes, as I should say. And I know when people like her speak up and fight for change, they do make a difference, which is why I am so inspired by the moms whose stories I've shared today and the many others who shared their stories back with me in my home state of Washington. So I just want to wish all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. I know you're going to keep fighting for your families. I want you to know we're going to keep fighting for you. Thank you, Madam President. I yield the floor.